One day, Thomas was at the quayside of a small village. Fish were being loaded into his cars. The work took a long time. The fishermen were using old equipment, and Thomas was worried. I'm going to be late for Henry at the docks. He won't like this.
Do I sense a nightly train run again for Henry? That can only mean one thing. But we'll see when it's confirmed. But why exactly is the fish being lifted by such old equipment? You mean to tell me Top Hat can buy all these new engines and renovate old areas, but can't provide updated equipment to the local towns?
He was glad when they were speeding along the beautiful coastal run. Then they saw a man waving a red flag. What's the matter now? High tides are damaging the track, reported the man. I've marked the spot. We'll go and inspect, said the driver.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Nothing like having accident-ready lines on the railway. At least that man knows when to bring things up. It's what I call good preventative maintenance. Also, I see we heard Thomas's theme there, but it was kind of half-finished. Oh well.
It would be dangerous for heavy engines like Henry, agreed the driver. But for Thomas, it's safe enough. The guard left a red oil lamp by the damaged track to warn engines. When we get to the docks, I'll tell them to close the line.
Good thinking there, Beardy. That's one way of being proactive. Because really those tracks do not look stable at all. Even Thomas shouldn't be going over those. He already had his one incident where the tracks warped because of the scorching heat. Let's not take any chances.
Pah! You're late. That smell is making me ill. It's the fish, replied Thomas, and there's danger on the rails. That's why we're late.
Ha! You're the only danger on the rails, Thomas. Now stop wasting time and get your cars hitched to my train.
And how is Thomas the danger? Because he's late? So he's a danger because people could lose their jobs? Everyone is going to run into snags at some point, and Thomas had a valid explanation. And yes, so it was. Henry is taking the Flying Kipper. What is this, round 3 now? Seasons 1, 4, and now this one? I hope this doesn't lead to where I think it's going.
What route is Henry taking tonight? Asked the driver. The coastal run, it's the quickest. But I told you, gasped the driver. That's dangerous for a big engine like Henry. The yardmaster quickly phoned the signalman. Henry roared past the signal box.
Great. So much for what I was hoping for 30 seconds ago. But like many stories that have been told in this season so far, fog tended to come down at the worst times. Fantastic. This just makes matters worse. The yardmaster guy should be fired for being so incompetent in his job. Because of course, what came next was the obvious.
It was too late.
Yeah, another accident with the Flying Kipper. Can we just have one run of this train without problems? Just once I would like to see this train run successfully. Either that or Henry will be cursed to run this train and derail all the time. I do find the spitting water out of the mouth pretty funny though.
Henry was craned out of the water. Engines don't swim, Henry. You were meant to deliver fish, not swim with them. You should know that by now.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
I'm sure he does know that, nor was he looking to fall in line with that pun, Top Hat. Why exactly is it his fault, though? You didn't think it was his problem the first time he crashed, but somehow it is this time? Psh, get out of here with that. Aside from this embarrassment, though, at least someone else felt sympathy for Henry.
Thomas now felt sorry for Henry. Come on, your driver says it's time for a nice washdown. Then you'll feel much better. And Henry did.
I'm sorry I was rude to you, Thomas.
That's all right. But can you smell something?
What?
Fresh air.
Oh, yes,
replied Henry happily.
Well, that ended okay. And it certainly took a much shorter time to mend Henry as opposed to the first trip in Season 1. I can't imagine being waterlogged is easy to get rid of either, especially when it's salt water. However, the story itself wasn't really anything that unique. As I said, this is the third time Henry has taken the Flying Kipper and has had some kind of problem, and this story is no different. The only thing new is having a tender engine dive into the sea, which is sort of reminiscent to that of Percy Takes the Plunge in Season 2. Funny how that also included Henry at the beginning and ending, too. Remember the line, "Water's nothing to an engine with determination"? In spite of that, not wowed by this. For music, we didn't have much. There was Thomas's theme briefly, Henry's haunted theme when he leaves, and the incidental outro music. But they didn't exactly help the experience entirely. Visuals were probably the best here. Areas like Brendam Docks with Cranky high above, and the Sodor Inn at the fishing village were cool to see. But I think the best was the quick shot of Thomas next to the lighthouse. Mainly because I think that's the closest we've ever seen it so far. Next episode is Thomas, Percy, and Old Slow Coach. Thanks for watching.